Hey everybody, Aex Goff here with Goff Rugby Report, and I am joined by Cassidy Bargell, the scrum half for Harvard, and which is defending National Intercollegiate Rugby Association NCAA champs in rugby. So Cassidy, great to talk to you, and great to see that you're also an MA Sorensen finalist. So that's pretty cool
Yeah,
too.
thank you for having me.
Yeah. So this is we're just sort of getting to know some of our finalists a little bit better. And first of all, was that a surprise to you that you were under consideration and thought of that highly?
Yes, definitely, especially because looking at that list and having played with so many incredible players, it's just such an honor to be even considered next to any of them. Yeah, and it's
Now,
really cool to look. Oh, sorry.
that's okay. No, that's fine. The women's game is sort of spread out a lot, right? So you've got Naira, D1 Elite, and Division One. It's difficult. So you don't necessarily cross paths with everybody. I mean, you did do it regularly with Alex DeMarco, but do you know the other players all that well, or are you just learning about them?
Yeah, I actually know all of them pretty well. I play with Spiff and Sui a lot at the training center. So me and Spiff, I've played most recently with Spiff actually
Right.
at the Las Vegas Invitational, and I've also Sui was my roommate at the November High Performance Camp, and then I just met Sarah Skinner at the U20 prep camp in Atlanta, Georgia.
Great.
So I know everyone. Yeah.
So you know everyone. That's great. It's also makes us think that we may be doing something right and getting the finalists right. That you guys have been in high performance camps all the way through. Okay, well, tell us a little bit about yourself. You go to Harvard, but you're actually from Colorado. Did you get your start with Summit High School? Is that how you started playing rugby?
Yeah, I started playing in eighth grade. Some of the eighth graders would take the bus from the middle school to the high school and just practice with the high school team. So I decided to go because all of my friends went. I was really into basketball as a middle schooler. And then Carl Barth is just such an incredible coach and built such like a highly respected program. It was hard not to want to be a part of. And that's when I started playing, played all through high school, and then decided on Harvard for college.
All right, good. Nice college to be able to decide on. Was that so? Did they recruit you, or did you chase them?
Uh, so the hiring change for the head coach happened at a weird time for my
Yeah,
recruiting class.
yeah.
So once I saw that Mel Denham had been hired as head coach, I sent her an email right away. And so my recruiting class is me and another girl, Sophie Fella. She's from Shanghai. And apparently we both sent Mel an email on the same day as she was arriving on campus to start preseason. So after I sent that email, they recruited me and I went on an official.
All right, so strike while the iron's hot, right? It's a good scrum half taking an opportunity right there. Has it always been scrum half for you?
I started playing in the back three for Summit High School,
Yeah.
wing and fullback, and then Colorado went to only sevens for my sophomore, junior, senior year. So I played mostly mostly center in sevens, but could also play scrum half and hooker. But
Nice.
once I got to college, then they put me back at scrum half, which is where Barth had always said I should be. So,
Oh, I see. Right,
yeah.
but uses his athletes the way he needs to. What are some of the things that spoke to you about the game?
Um, Mostly the friends that I made at Summit High
Yeah.
School, playing on the team there. Uh, the culture is just incredible, and it was what every girl wanted to do there. So that's like what initially drew me in, and then that's stayed consistent through every team and program I've been a part of. So
Very good. And obviously translating to Harvard, where you had a team. I mean, a very athletic team, but there are a lot of athletic teams in Naira, and you guys, you won the final against Army, and I know you had a very heavy hand in that win for sure. But that was a pretty unified team. Yeah.
that I would say that's our team's strength is finding ways that we can work best with each other.
You're a sophomore. You've got some time to develop your game and things like that. First of all, what are you studying? What interests you academically at
I'm
school?
studying integrative biology with a secondary in government. So kind of a weird mix, but
Yeah.
I always had liked science, so that's what I ended up going into. And the professor for that concentration is from England and loves rugby, so loves the rugby team, and that obviously was a positive of that concentration. And then I decided to go into government because I've always been interested in education. And the education secondary is very time consuming at Harvard. But with government, I've been able to take classes that interest me in education. Like right now, I'm in a policy class writing a policy memo for an innovation network. So those are my two big interests.
All right, excellent. Well, this time, right? This is a massive time of talking about medicine and biology and policy and education. All of that stuff is coming together because we're getting lots of different pieces of information that for most of us, say sports writers, is difficult to assimilate and understand. So it might, I don't know. I mean, if you separate yourself out from the difficulties, I wonder, is it an interesting time for you to observe how this information and how policy is made?
It's so interesting. Before we even left school, we talked about how crises are often exploited by policymakers in order to get change pushed. Yeah. So when we're looking at Baton Rouge and talking about how we could possibly use this crisis as a way to push the legislation that we think would be best to reform the schools there. So it's interesting because you can look back on like Hurricane Katrina, and then how is this crisis different, but also how can it be used for people's best interests?
All right, excellent. That's good. It's a real life example right there. You see how important that is, and suddenly your decision, your academic mix doesn't seem so weird.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Okay, looking ahead, hopefully we get back on the rugby field soon. Hopefully things turn around and you get back there for the fall for Harvard. What do you see going forward with that program?
I think we have an exciting future. We're getting more and more really awesome recruits. One of them I played with in high school.
Nice.
So I'm excited for that. And one played for the rival high school team, United, when we'd go to Utah.
Sure.
So I think the more rugby knowledge we get will help build our program to being one of the more strategic ones, which is something we pride ourselves on. And also it's cool because every year we take on a few walk-ons, and being that they all got into Harvard, they're so smart, and having that base knowledge with the recruits of like rugby skill and bringing in walk-ons who are just so dedicated and work so hard gives our team a really unique culture that I think is important and will be carried on for a long time in Harvard.
All right. One more thing then. I mean, what does it mean really to be win or not win? What does it mean to be a finalist for the MA Sorensen Award?
It's just such an honor, especially looking at the list of past winners and the past nominees, and especially the people I'm nominated with. I just feel so much more thankful to know I've played with them and learned from them. And especially now that we have to take a step back from rugby, those connections and those friendships, you realize how much more important they are. And so that's really what I'm grateful for with this.
All right,
Cassidy. I just reminded of that.
Beautiful. Well said. Thank you very much, Cassidy, and best of luck going forward.
Thank you.